Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you tonight for this game review, a PS4 game review that I finally got a chance to finish up on for God of War, the 2018 game that I finished up on like just the other night, I believe. So I'm going to discuss what I experienced with this PS4 game and let you know my thoughts on this God of War PlayStation 4, of course, PS4 game. So let's dive into this game review. Now, sorry about the background noise. I'm doing laundry right now, so please forgive that noise. So basically, with what I experienced with this game, I had a really interesting time playing this game. Kratos is still a badass in this game. He's more different than he was since God of War 3. So this takes place 9 years after God of War 3, almost a decade later. And from what I experienced, I think this game was quite amazing. A good experience, very fresh to start off on a PS4 Pro console, and it runs very smooth on the PS4 Pro, somewhat, but it just depends. Sometimes it tends to overheat a bit, but it just depends. I think on my old console it did, the regular PS4, and that was a cheapo PS4. But it's just one of those PS4s that you're like, I don't have to get rid of it, apparently. But from what I experienced, the story involves his son Atreus, and him and Atreus go on this adventure where they have to take his mother's ashes because Kratos' wife passed away at the beginning of this game. And apparently there's more secrets that lie near the end of the game that you find out that gets revealed at the very end of the game. And that's the most interesting, important part of the game. So I'm not gonna spoil what's the end of the game is, but if you have played it, you kind of get a figure of where I'm going with that. From meeting Brock and uh, other characters like Brock's brother, I just had a good time playing this game. It seemed really awesome. It was a fun experience, and I just like the badass action scenes that Kratos does. At the beginning, Atreus tries to learn how to hunt for himself, but it just some of the time it doesn't really go so well with him because Kratos says you're not ready for the journey and journey to the mountain, which is Jotunheim, is where they have to go to. They thought the tallest peak was the one they have to go to where they're at, but apparently it's not. So you fight with these weird flying elves, then you fight with these creatures or whatever, these weird creatures, and so far it's a really enjoyable time with the fight sequences, and the CGI work is quite amazing in this game. But what's her name? The witch, uh, the witch or whatever in this game. Can't remember her name, but she apparently has a son, and that son is uh, basically what's his name? Uh, Barlock or not Barlock. I'm trying to think of his name because it's at the tip of my tongue. It's with a B, but from what I experienced, that fight scene at the beginning of the game where Kratos has to beat up that apparently elder god not elder god, but just like one of the gods that he has to fight. But it's pretty much I guess related to Odin, if you know where I'm going with that. But for the experience, it's a really fun time. It's a really good game, and I really had a fun time playing this game. Pretty much most of it is what really gets me invested in the game. So I'm just trying to think of the character's name that comes uh, into the game or whatever. So I have to look through it and skim through it to know the character's name. So from what I gathered, it was a really fun time. It was quite an interesting games. So interesting game, I should say. So yeah, trying to think of that guy's name. Uh, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in this game that is very interesting and investing, and you run into a few characters in the game. Lafay, your goddess, Balder. That's what his name was, Balder, one of the half brother of Thor. Um, no, that's not true. I'm just looking through it, so sorry if I'm looking through it on Wikipedia. So, basically, from what I experienced, it was a fun game. It is worth checking out for this 2018 game. It's worth purchasing too. You can get it pretty cheap now. It's like $10 to $15 now, but it's a really fun time. It's worth owning, and I'm going to be playing God of War Ragnarok next for sure, because I can't wait to see how that game turns out. But if I were to give this game its overall score, because most of the story is the most interesting thing, the dialogue is on point, it keeps you invested, it keeps you wanting to play more, and there's a lot of other places and ventures they travel to, like other realms they travel to. But from what I gathered, I enjoyed this game, and if I were to give it a score, I'm feeling a strong 9 out of 10 for this game. Really good game. There were some hiccups through the game, some scenes that I wasn't sure if some sequences in the game that I wasn't sure if I was connecting with, but other than that, this game entertained me enough for me to keep playing, and it's a really good game, keep in mind. So, if you have not played God of War 2018 game, definitely check it out. It is about 7 years old by now, but it is a fun experience. So, 9 out of 10 for God of War, the 2018 video game. Hope you enjoyed this game review tonight, and thanks for watching.